Guys, this is the start of our mini project doing up this very average old tinny. We're going to be doing a lot of fishing in it in the next few months, and I'm here at Addict Tackle with Jason. He's our engineer, very clever guy. He can fix just about everything, but we're going to start today on the trailer. We're doing the bearings, need to be changed on one side. We're going to show you how to change the bearings in your trailer. We might replace the skids on the trailer as well. We're going to go over the whole thing, make sure the electronics are right, electrics are all right, and yeah, you might pick up a few tips along the way. So let's get started. Are you ready? Oh. That bearing is not so good. That roller looks all right. All right, well, what do you reckon, Jason? Might start on the bearing, eh?
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Too easy.
It's good.
Done. Alrighty. So, Bergie's obviously got a noisy wheel bearing at the stage. Generally, light trailer. We don't have to worry too hard about major stands and that, so we've got our little milk crate. You'll take the load off your bearing, spin your wheel, and you'll hear what tyre's got the noise. So generally you get an excess amount of free play, which this has. So we'll pop it off and have a look. So obviously there's going to be quite a bit of mess inside there. We do got to look for a split pin here. So with a rag we'll wipe a bit of crap off, which is very hard to see, unfortunately. Okay. There's your pin. Try and get them out as even as you possibly can. But with your kits, you will receive a new pin in there somewhere, crikey. So very straightforward. Wind your assembly off. Okay, keep them in line and you'll little jiggle and everything will come off in one go. So as you can see, things aren't looking too good. So try and get a process of getting them all out together in order. If you're not sure, just take a photo on your phone for reference. Okay. So these guys here are generally the hard ones to come off when they're binded on.
Seen better days, Jace.
Mate, got his money's worth.
That's so dodgy.
So here's your seals. They've worked over. So once you've removed all that, as you can see, it comes in your kit. These Timken kits have a hard external seal, so they are a lot better. It's worthwhile spending an extra 10 bucks for the bit more longevity. And we'll try and clean these guys as best as we can.
You've probably got about 20 or 30 years worth of grease there, mate.
That's right. Okay.
Pretty good.
All good. So once we get to that stage, you've got races inside your bearing which have to be replaced. You cannot change a bearing without replacing the race. Even if you think it looks good, it will still incorporate noise if it has a bit of pit work. So inside, you feel with your punch inside and you'll find the groove. There's little keyway cutouts. Let's see if I can, yeah, I won't show it. But you'll feel your punch slot into position, and that's where you're going to tap. So a couple taps each way. Don't want to break your camera, Will. There you go. Yep. And there's our race. These guys have got to be removed. So there's one in both sides. There's all our old parts. Now we'll clean and reassemble. So I'm gonna have to get
another rag or something?
I'm gonna have to get a couple more rags.
Where are they?
And I'll just
hang on, there's
force it
some
through.
here, I think. Harder to get out of the pack than they are to get off the boat, off the trailer.
Kidding. Two. So I'm lucky enough to have one of these race kits.
There you go. Good, how are you? Oh, not bad for now, fella. That's good. Don't be you sell out that bloody kayak, but you tell me you don't sell them anymore.
No, not at the moment. The supply is virtually impossible.
Yeah, you're selling it.
It's very, very hard.
Everywhere you go,
It's the best way to fit these races with
with
the race kit. If you haven't got a race kit, you will use a brass punch and tap side to side nice and gently without marking it. We try and avoid that and knock them in with one of these guys.
Sorry, can I help you there? Oh, isn't it? Mate, it really is. How are you, young fella? Yeah? Been fishing a bit? Oh, good on you. Just ring the river.
So top race with the top tool. They tap in nice and straight.
So Jace, if you don't have one of those tools, how else can you do it?
So I like to use a brass punch, which this isn't, but brass punch. And we'll go gentle taps side to side.
Just to get it completely level.
And work its way down. As soon as it hits the bottom, you hear the change of the note.
Yeah.
So not to damage it. And we're also lucky enough to have a bearing packing tool. So if you haven't got a bearing packer, what you want to do, what you want to do is put a whole heap of grease in your hand, like so. Grab your bearing and dab that bearing into that grease. And the more I work it in there, you'll see grease start working out the top of the rollers there. That's called packing a bearing. If you don't do that and just roll them in grease, they won't last 3 days. So, and I'll do that all the way around till it oozes out, and then you just wipe the excess off and roll it around there.
Who taught you how to do all this stuff?
So it's part of the trade.
Yeah?
Really, yeah. But I knew how to change a wheel bearing prior to doing my trade. Very, very common and very easy.
Yeah.
It's something you can do yourself, very cost effective. So I'll push down on my tool. That didn't sound too good.
There you go, packed.
And she's packed.
That's pretty cool.
So all the excess,
You can never have too much, can you?
you can never have too much grease. It's always a good thing, more a water barrier than anything.
Yeah.
Some people pack the insides of the hub with lots of grease. If you wash it regularly, I'll find that's not necessary. If you're doing a lot of travelling, well, maybe. So I'll roll him over. Put him in his place, and that bearing's ready to go. So at the same time, so everything doesn't fall out, I like to knock them sealing, and these guys can be a little bit touchy. You have to get them dead straight, otherwise they won't bite in. There we go. Okay. There's our other side. Same deal. Wipe all your excess. Need more, get it on there. More the merrier. So this fella I'll slot in as I'm sliding the hub on. Make a bit of room here. So we'll go into position. Sometimes they need a little bit of a shove, like so. Hit your bearing. On he goes. And in this situation, we're using the original nut. Should probably go give it a wash up, eh? Pretty straightforward. So the key factor with bearings is too loose is better than too tight. I know it sounds corny, but as you're doing your tension up on your bearing, you'll spin your wheel till you just get a little bit of resistance. No free play, that's perfect. If you go too much, your bearing will collapse within 3 days, 2 or 3 days.
Too much pressure on it.
Too much pressure on it, heats up and it's all over.
Yes. Split pin in.
And split pin in.
You bend both sides or just one, Jace?
I might get, sorry?
You bend both sides of the split
No, just
pin?
one's fine. Sometimes you've got to bend the other one in so that
The cap will fit on?
the cap will fit on, but I'll just grab a new cap. That's what I should have grabbed before. Might as well put new caps on it, Bergs.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, mate, see all the cracks and everything in this tyre. What do you reckon? Does it need to be replaced?
So, absolutely, they are a light truck tyre.
Yeah, so they're pretty strong.
They are very strong for what they do take a bit of weight, but
Yeah.
certain tyres you can see a date in here, which when they're manufactured, I think they've got a 10-year.
This one looks about
Lifespan.
50 years old.
That's right. So it's all about safety.
Yeah, I think I'll bring it down to the guys at Bridgestone down the road and see if we can order a few in.
In our little cap.
Well done, Jay. So if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. We'll try and get to as many as we can. But that's pretty much how you change the bearing on a trailer. But yeah, please, feedback and questions, go for it. Happy to help.